Hi, I'm Mike Messier. Welcome to Messier Mantra. On this episode, we have a great special return guest. He's a good friend of mine, Paul Kandarian. Hey, Paul.
Mike, how you doing?
Good. Now, I say you're a good friend of mine, but we were kind of just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
I met you over a year ago, not too much more than a year ago. You did an audition, and it was really great. You just popped right into character.
Yeah.
And just to mention kind of this connection, it was called, and people can look it up on YouTube, In the Bedroom web series. Yeah. The episode's called The Sound. Yeah. And if you want to just tell me about that experience, not too much, but just as an actor, you were kind of in this web series, 5-minute, 6-minute piece. Right. You had a great co-star. Yeah. What was that all about?
Well, Seth Chitwood from Barrington came up with the idea. It's 12 or 13 vignettes of what happens in the bedroom. There's funny stuff, sad stuff, family stuff like a father and his son. Right. There's a farting episode. Right. Funny stuff. And it's just all things that, that happen in the bedroom. And I was laying in bed with Jeannie Loans, who's an actress from Sandwich. She hears a sound, and she tries to get me to get up and go see what it is. And I'm like, oh, are you crazy? You shouted fire the last time we did this. And it's kind of funny, and then there's a kind of a weird ending. Yeah. Like, give it away or not. But I go downstairs to check out the noise, and you hear a gunshot. And she's like, Jack. So it kind of leaves up to, what happened, sort of thing. It's
kind of cool because that's the final episode of the web series. So you had all these different relations, and they're all kind of standalone episodes. I wrote and directed one with a couple in the 80s, and there were some other good ones, about Mr. Sandman, kind of a fantasy one with Merrick Carter. And yours kind of ended on this, you just kind of think that the wife is hearing a cricket or a mouse or something in the hell, there's nothing wrong. And then you as the husband go down there, and then you hear basically something like a gunshot, and it's kind of like, will there be a sequel to this? Just kill Paul, But I liked how you auditioned, and maybe this is kind of a metaphor for your life, and for what could be everybody's life, is just you really just jumped into that audition. I believe you had the script memorized. You were kind of in character, and you just went for it,
Yeah. It's weird. I've just gotten into acting, like I explained last time, about 7 or 8 years ago. I did a bunch of theater, and then the last 3 or 4 years started doing film, commercials and stuff. It's one thing that I've noticed from the very beginning when I started doing this. And it's not to sound cocky, but I never get nervous really in an audition or when the camera's on or when I go on stage. You get a little butterfly, that nervous energy, which is good. Right. Just never get nervous. I just kind of, I'm just going to go in there and give it my best shot. And I figure I get it. I don't. There's always something else to come up. Right. It never, ever, as an actor, you can never take it personally, ever. Yes. Because you might be, you do a good job, but they might be like somebody taller, shorter, thinner, fatter, with more hair or whatever. Sure. So you just, okay, I'm not taking it personally. I never take anything personally. You just do your best and move on. And that's what I did there. It just felt very relaxing. Jeannie's a really good actress. Yes. She was easy to work with. Which helps a lot too. But, it never had any training. I never took any courses or classes. But I grew up my whole life just being a student of film, by watching film, trying to figure out how actors make me feel and think. Yeah. And then my whole life I did that. I would analyze a film from start to finish. If there was a knife on the table, okay, why is that knife there? Why are they lighting it this way, blah, blah. So when it came time to finally do it, I had this tremendous wealth of knowledge that was just kind of built in by osmosis, and they just kind of drew on that. And the other thing that really serves me well, and I just thought of this the other day, I think I mentioned it to you earlier, that as far as training for an actor, every day is training. Right. Everything that we do right now, what I'm doing to you, having a conversation. You go to the doctor, you act a certain way. You're with your kids, you act a certain way. You're with your boss, you act a certain way. Everything is acting. Right. Action. What's in action? Act. You're acting all the time. The entire world, every day of your life is the greatest improv experience you'll ever have. All of life is improv. Every single minute of it. And that guy, what's his name? Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. He was absolutely right. Yes. We are all the players. So when it comes time to pull stuff in for character, if you're using somebody else's lines and you got to do it, you get all the stuff going on, the stuff that you've done that you can pull out of yourself and put into the character. So it just becomes easy at that point. Some roles are a lot more challenging, obviously. Right. You play some really dark, role. I've played murderers and really disturbed people. Sure. So maybe that wasn't a stretch, but
hey.
Yeah. But everything you've done.
Paul and Mike, I'm going to do whatever I do you.
But you know what? Another thing I found too, which is great training. Don't be afraid of your imagination.
Okay.
All the time. I realized this as I got into acting. When I was a kid, and right up to now when I'm in the car, I make up stuff in my head.
Right.
All the time. Scenes. I see a cop at the side of the road. I kind of imagine him stopping me. We having a conversation. It goes bad. It goes well. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or the perfect conversation when I have somebody in a store, like a idiot clerk, and you put them down, sort of thing. Whatever.
Right.
I just make up movie scenes, and not like you talking to me, not
Right.
reenactments, but actual scenes that are just playing in my head, sad, happy, whatever, all the time. I don't know if I'm disturbed or what, but it's just so much fun to make up new movie scenes in your head and
Right.
just play them out, say it out loud. And people look at you funny when you're down on the street, emoting to no one.
Mommy, what's with the string?
Yeah, keep away from that. The stranger danger. But it really does help.
Yeah.
Because then when you have to do it, and you have to use somebody else's words. One of the best tips ever on acting, and this isn't brain surgery, this is nothing new, but when you have to memorize a script, and when you own the words, and when they come out of you,
Right.
like they're yours, like you own them, and you're saying them like they're new, and you're hearing them like they're new, that's the magic.
Right.
That's when it happens. When it's new, like a conversation this, I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Be careful. But you never know in a conversation what you're going to say until you say it. And when you get to that point in theater or film, and you're saying it like it's new, saying it for the first time and hearing it for the first time, that's what it's all about.
Right.
That's acting. And I mean, because you're not acting, you're being.
Well, there's a book about acting called Being and Doing by Eric Morris that I share with my acting students.
Yeah.
It's pretty profound because what you just said, the last part of what you said, it's not acting, it's being. And that's the whole principle of this guy's book. Being
Damn it, he beat me to it.
He beat you to it, man.
Yeah. No, but that's true.
You know, but all the things you said, I mean, I'm glad we chronicled that on the Messier Mantra here because those are some real awesome thoughts. And what's interesting to me, Paul, is it seems to me just kind of started off as a writer, gained all this knowledge about the human condition, human experience, the levels, the layers of life from other people as you were writing. Now you're doing you're acting or being an actor, and kind of channeling those energies into these characters. Yeah. Maybe someday you'll find yourself writing again as the experiences of the actor. So it's kind of like a nice circle for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I explained to you earlier. I want to write a screenplay.
Yeah.
I've had a million jobs in my life until I found something I didn't totally suck at.
Right.
But I was a flight attendant in 1977 to 81.
Yeah.
And this was the high-flying 70s, literally the high-flying 70s.
Yeah.
All we did was smoke dope and chase girls.
Right.
The straight guys, and because it was largely it was a gay profession, and we had parties all the time, and it was unbelievable fun.
Wow.
And from what I recall, it was a lot of fun.
More fun than doing this all day on your smartphone?
Yeah. Well, if we had smartphones then, thank God there were no cameras then. But I have so many stories, and I've written them down over the years. I said, man, this would make a great screenplay. But I'm not sure how to craft a screenplay. I was going to either write a book and embellish it to make it a novel or stick to nonfiction. And somebody said, man, make a screenplay. It sounds like a screenplay. Yeah. So I got to do that. I've just got to, because I'm 61, and that look back to the 70s when things were a little more carefree and crazy. Right. I think it would be kind of a strong selling point.
People have a thirst for excitement, and sometimes they live vicariously through the stories of others, hence the movie business. And a movie that took on the high-flying 70s, you can even call it that. Yeah. I think people would dig that.
Oh, yeah, no question
high-flying
about it.
70s. What's that all about? What do you think it's about?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. You could smoke pot on the plane. You could smoke on planes in those days, cigarettes. And so, we'd roll a joint or whatever, go in the bathroom, and you push the plunger down in the sink, and the air gets sucked out. So it's like, poof, it's like a great big ashtray, and just blow the smoke out. And I came so many close calls. I almost got busted in Germany. I almost got busted on the plane. Wow. Oh, I almost got busted coming through customs once. Just crazy stories. And then the parties were just insane parties. I mean, anything goes kind of parties. It was like a Studio 57 existence. It really was. And yeah. Oh my God. My first international flight, a guy died on my flight. A passenger was walking. He was in his 50s. I thought he was old then. He just had a heart attack and died. And it was so sad. He just got married to a woman his age, and it was their first marriage. They were going off on honeymoon, and the poor guy died. Wow. So that kind of changed my outlook on things. Yeah. But, But I mean, there was just so many really bizarre, really weird experiences. We were in Ireland once in the Cliffs of Moher, those big, like 700-foot cliffs.
Yep.
He was smoking and drinking, and me and my buddy are just running down the cliffs like from here to there.
Yep.
It was like, woohoo, this is great. Not thinking, well, we could die like that.
Right,
It's like flying down. It's like, God, we're high. We wouldn't be doing it.
A herd of buffalo come over.
Yeah. Or sheep come by, give you a hip check. Oh my God, it was this crazy ass stuff that we did. And when you're young, you do stupid things that you look back on later and say, I should not be alive today.
Right.
Yeah.
How did I get through that one?
Yeah, and we drink with pilots until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they get up at 6 or 7 o'clock to fly the plane.
Oh boy.
It's changed. It's changed since then. Not as crazy.
Public
as
safety be damned.
Yeah. Oh my God. Security was forget it. Security was nothing. But anyway, that was a time of my life. It was one of in many ways, the best 4 years of my life. Incommensurately the foggiest 4 years of my life. But there's so many stories in there. I just got to get it out. I got to get that on film.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't play myself.
Right.
I had a great shock of curly hair there. Who's a comic? Seth Rogen, the guy with
Seth Rogen, yeah.
Pineapple Express dude.
Yep.
I see him playing me.
That's cool.
And I'll be a cameo as an old pilot or something. But anyway, that's.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, just in case people, call this conversation and you say, how do you, it's actually quite, it's not as hard as it's sounding. Basically, you get a screenwriting program. I recommend Final Draft. I get no endorsement money from this, but it's a screenwriting program, Final Draft, and you push fade in, colon, enter, and then you take it from there. Like, it's a very intuitive screenwriting program. And I was turned on to it about 10 years ago by a friend of mine who knew that I had written a play and I was trying to make a low-budget movie with it. And I was struggling with Microsoft Word or whatever, tabs and all that. And he said, no, man, you got to use this screenwriting program. And that's what the pros use.
Yeah.
That's what, Steven Spielberg and Soderbergh all use the same program for the most part.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So it's good.
All right. And I'll just write it and then hope somebody buys it, and then that'll be terrific.
Well, it's making films is a very rewarding creative business. It's very hard, as we both know.
And this wouldn't be low budget. We need like airplanes. Kind of old DC-8 airplanes, so really crappy old stretch DC-8 planes.
Wow.
Can't be too easy to find these days.
No.
Anyway, but it's a thought.
It's a good thought. I like it.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I get
talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about philosophy. We talked on the phone today before our interview here, and your guy, it seems like you just kind of embrace life. And as a writer, you've probably, and as an actor, you've probably experienced some wild stuff. And anything like Zen or Buddhism or religious studies ever come into your full way? No. There goes that line of questioning.
I was born and raised a Catholic, and I can't think of a more oppressive religious regime than that.
Really?
Piss people off, but
okay.
Catholic, Italian Catholic.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I'm basically an agnostic, atheist, whatever. And I believe in the power of the universe. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, but you make a connection, positive and negative, to the great beyond, which is nothing but energy.
Right.
It gives back. It makes that connection back, because positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. And I've always found anything that I've gotten good at in my life that I wanted to do, I just envisioned doing it.
Right.
And really wanted to do it, have a really good vibe about it. And it happened. I wanted to be a flight attendant. In the 70s, my buddy was flying for TWA, and I was jealous. I want to do that.
Right.
So I remember going up to Bradley International at Hartford to interview for Capital International Airways was the airline. It's a charter that's gone out of business, I think, because we stole all the booze. But I remember coming out of there thinking, I want this so badly. And I remember looking up to the sky. Maybe I believed in God then or what, but I said, I got to have this. I got to have this. And like 2 days later, I got hired. I got a job at a skating rink in Taunton when I was 17. I applied for a job as a skate guard. Never skated in my life.
Right.
So I said, I can skate. So I got out there, I was wobbling around, so they thought, this guy lied. but I stuck it out. Long story short, with 14, 15 months, I found some old goalie gear in the back, learned to skate, started playing hockey. In less than a year and a half, I was playing for Division III at SMU, which is UMass Dartmouth. It was their first year of ECAC, so we got our asses kicked wherever we went. But I made the team. I was the backup goalie. Because I really, really wanted it. I had to have that. I had to make that happen.
Right.
I always wanted to be a writer. As a kid, I'd write, goofy stories or whatever. And I always wanted that to happen. And one day I walked into the Gazette and applied for a job. I got a job as a stringer correspondent. And a year later, I was on full-time staff. So I just did writing for a while. And then when acting came along, I told you I did a story.
Right.
Rhode Island Monthly and Kurt Columbus Trinity. I just fell in love with theater. And this is something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I could see it happening. So honestly, goodness, if you put out those positive vibes, positive things happen. My dad, God love him, he was a very negative human being.
Right.
In the last 10 years of his life, he got really dour and he had a lot of medical conditions. And he always thought, my life's this and that, bad things are going to happen. And that's bad things kept happening.
Right.
My girlfriend, sells real estate in Marion, she's like the best in the company. She is generally the nicest, happiest person I've ever met. And there's no BS. She's just happy in the zone, the happy zone all the time. So good things happen to her. It's unbelievable. You see examples of both sides of it all the time. And I'm stuck somewhere in the middle because I was kind of raised in kind of a negative. But I see her and I know the power of positivity. So when I'm leaning that way, it's good. But then when you find yourself thinking the negative and thinking, oh, bad things are going to happen, and sure enough, bad things happen. So you just got to cast your faith to the wind and the power of the universe.
Well, some people would call it the law of attraction.
Exactly.
There's a whole book on that.
Yeah. Well, there's a great book.
The Secret. Yeah.
The Secret, and there's also The Map. I think Bonnie Lounsbury. I think that's her name.
Okay.
I've read it like 6 times, and she says that. And you talk about the power of imagination. She's don't be afraid to put yourself in the situation you want to be in.
Right.
If you want to be an actor, imagine yourself as an actor. Imagine yourself doing whatever it is you want to do, driving the perfect car. Because you get caught up in it, and you feel the exuberance and the joy that gives you, and you're sending that out.
Right.
And whatever it is up there connects with it and sends stuff back.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to see the signs, the little things. You can wish for money and imagine you're rich. You might reach in your pocket and find a 20 you didn't know was there. I mean, little things like that.
Right.
And it adds up. It's just amazing. Who hasn't imagined winning like Powerball?
Sure.
It's $300 million, and then you start thinking, what would I do with the money?
Right.
You think I'd start a foundation. I'd endow every theater I've ever been with. I'd pay for young filmmakers to make film. And you get all excited, and you get, it's like 15 minutes later, you're all excited. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you realize, oh crap, I haven't really won the lottery.
Right.
But that feeling that you get,
Right.
that's what you have to embrace with whatever it is that you want to do.
Yes.
If you get it in your head that you've done it and you experience the joy that you get with it, somehow it just trickles down and makes things happen. Maybe not exactly the way you want it, but in a way that, like I said, you have to see the signs. You always do have to see the signs. So I just believe in that. I believe in the power of positive connections.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you may... you try sometimes, you just might find what you need. The Rolling Stones, to quote the great Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
As you're talking, I mean, there's so many things that you're referring to that ring bells from some of the books I've read. The power of positive thinking and Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer type of stuff.
Yeah.
My friend Lawrence O'Leary is a good buddy of mine, says that one should always live the life they want to lead as if they're already living it.
That's exactly it. That's what she says, and many other people have said it. He said it, and it's exactly it. I've got like no money, but I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams and satisfaction.
Right.
Because I'm writing, I'm traveling. I love to travel and do travel writing. Been all over the world to write about places.
Nice.
I love acting. Never felt more at home than in front of a camera.
What would you like to play? Just because if there was a character, either based on yourself or based on somebody you met or another movie, is there any role or type of role that Paul thinks about?
I've done comedy. I've done musicals. I played Warbucks and Annie once. I shaved my head, which I had far to go. But but yeah, the great roles are like the older. I get a lot of commercial work now for like medical companies because I'm in that demographic, but not quite ready to die, but just healthy enough to take care of yourself. But I love theater. But Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Big Daddy. I would love to do Big Daddy.
Right.
Love that. Or the old chestnuts like Death of a Salesman. Who wouldn't want to do Willie Loman?
Yeah.
Things like that. And in movies, I don't know. I mean, there's a million screenplays out there. Write something for me.
Back. I got something for you, Paul.
But this beauty of acting is like writing. People say, how do you make a living writing? I said, everything you pick up, everything you see is writing in it.
Right.
Somebody has to write it. Every time you turn on the TV, in a movie, TV series, a sitcom, or commercials, anything, they hire actors and crew and sound people, they hire people to do it. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. You just got to positively connect.
Right.
And you got to take the right steps. I signed up with Model Club.
Yes.
I vowed to make this year the year of the paid acting work, and it's worked out. I've been getting commercials. local, Massachusetts.
Yep.
And they pay, and it's nice. I got a bit part in a movie they're shooting Thursday, made by German network TV people.
Yep.
So one thing leads to another. And
Right.
there's a lot of stuff out there. You just got to make the connections, and don't be afraid to fantasize that you've already done it. You've already made it.
If you don't know what you want, there's very little chance. If you don't know exactly what you want or close to exactly what you want, there's no way you're going to get good things.
No.
Because you'll just get more of the same whatever.
Yeah, and I think people deny that part of themselves because I think we talked about it earlier. You grow up thinking, I got to go to school, I got to get a job, I got to get a pension, I got to do the safe thing, the secure thing, the right thing. That's not the right thing. The right thing is what's in here. That's the right thing. You got to go by what your gut tells you to do and where your passion is,
Yes.
But if you go the safe route, you're going to die regretting everything you never did. And I won't die regretting things because I've done pretty much everything except make money. But maybe that'll come. But I got to be true to who you are and what it is you want. If there's a seed of something inside you, explore it, cultivate it. My dad, God love him, he was an ultimate woulda, shoulda guy, but he was very negative. And he always said, when I was growing up, I should have been an actor, I should have been a writer. In his early writings, I still have some. It's pretty flowery and over the top, but he had the seeds there.
Right.
And he was an actor in that whenever there was a camera on, the old movies, he'd go into his Cagney impersonation, he'd start singing. So I definitely got the seed from him on both of those counts. And so whatever I do, I'm convinced I'm standing on his shoulders doing it. The stuff that he always wanted to do, but he died regretting never having done it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just do whatever it takes to be happy. Because what else you got? You can work your whole life and be miserable.
Sometimes the best person, the best people we can learn from are those who weren't fully fulfilled. And we see, I'm speaking of my own personal family members, but you see that their anguish or their frustration or their lack of whatever, and you say, I don't want to be like that. And it's like yourself, you've kind of stepped up in your own life and taken on these challenges.
And it's funny, when I was a kid, I was a class clown.
Yeah.
And my brother used to make fun of me, and my parents said, he's got to be the center of attention. And then, I felt bad about that. And then years later, I said, Jesus, they were right. I do, as an actor, you're the center of attention. When it's your line in the camera or whatever, you're the center of attention. I play hockey, and I'm a goalie. The goalie's the center of attention.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there was something to it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
As you do it, respectfully and humbly and everything. But there's nothing wrong with making yourself the center of attention if you're expressing yourself, if you're trying to indulge in that artistic side of you that, many other people might decry because, you can't make a living doing that. What are you going to do? Oh,
where's your 9-to-5 job?
Yeah. What's the worst thing going to happen? You're going to have fun.
Right.
And what's wrong with that?
Right.
I mean, I've spent my life having fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing it,
There's a lot of negative, unfortunate negative response to those people that are trying to fulfill themselves and are fulfilling themselves by trying. Even the people on the sidelines or the wallflowers, whatever you want to call it, who are kind of witnessing others in the fight. That's that old metaphor of it's the man in the battle, sweaty and bloody in the pit, who's half beaten to death, who's the one who's truly the victor, whether he wins, loses or not.
Yeah.
So.
You got to try. If you don't try, you're just going to regret not trying, and then what? It's like the expression is nobody on their deathbed has ever said, I wish I worked one more day.
Right.
You got to have fun, and if it's acting or writing or painting or whatever, do it. The performing arts are such a great form of expression. So many people wish they could try. Try it. Just try it. Don't deny that part of yourself that needs to get out. And that's what I found about acting. That was that one true thing that needed to get out. Curly was right. It was there, and they just denied it and sublimated it or whatever. And came out in other ways through writing, this and that. But then until I stepped on stage for the first time, I said, oh, that's what was missing.
Now I'm home.
Exactly. Yeah. Never felt more at home on stage or in front of a camera.
Well, Paul, man, this 25 has just flown by.
Really
once again.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you so much.
All right.
Is there any final quick mantra for the Messier Mantra Paul Kandarian viewers today?
Not the same one they gave before.
Give me a new one if you can think of someone in 20 seconds or less.
Well, I've lived my whole life by the mantra. If it ain't fun, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
got to have fun. You know, you may not get rich, you probably won't get rich, but man, you're going to have fun. And you're going to hit that part of you inside that needs satisfying. And then you just go off and try to find more fun.
That's
like
great.
the perfect wave. You'll never find it, but it's so much fun trying. Just
like
have fun.
Have fun, Paul Kandarian. Thank you so much, Paul.
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Messier Mantra wants to thank our special guest, Paul Kandarian, for his wonderful visit on our show. Messier Mantra looks forward to seeing you again. Thanks for watching Messier Mantra.